Welcome to episode 489 of This Week in League. I'm Nate.
And I'm Jay.
And I'm Glenn.
How you doing, fellas?
Great.
If I was any better, it'd be illegal.
Is that right, mate? All right. Yeah, I'm so tired right now. Hey, it just hit me all of a sudden.
Fucking fire up and spurt sauce, you tired cunt.
I'm tired of this. Tired of this fucking season.
Oh, yeah. Cry me a fucking river, cunt.
Yeah, I was going to say, look, I'm tired of this season after my team participated in one of the closest matches of the weekend. Other teams did not fare so well. Anything to report? Or are we going to go straight into the games this week, boys? You seem flat.
Both of us?
I know I'm flat. Lift me, yeah. Come on, lift, cunts. We're going to lift each other.
I've had a fucking long day, following on from a fucking rather long weekend, if you know what I mean. Watching my pack of cunts run around, but we'll get to that.
Oh, so it was just right. It was just footy matters that got you down. It wasn't. Yeah, there's no real life issues at play here.
No, we're good.
Yeah,
we're good.
No, really.
Mate, you've had so long. You had so long to train for this moment.
The honestly. Spoon.
Yeah, well, just the disappointment, like the relentless disappointment. I mean, fucking hell. I mean, after 2016, 17, you probably should have been like, they'll just rinse off your back now. Like, yeah, another year. That's all right. Yeah. Same again.
No, every year I'm like, this is year
11th verse, same as the first.
Like I get Ryan, fucking what's his name, James Tamau, being surprised by this. Like there were depths that he could sink to that even he didn't understand, as we found out in the last 10 seconds of that fucking game.
Can I just say, I mean, the whole like rugby league players as role models and the rest of that sort of shit aside, oh, Glennie's digging into the chips.
No.
You're you're the annoying cunt at the movies.
No, cunt. I'm just fucking getting a thing out to clean my glasses.
Glennie, it's an audio medium.
You're cleaning your glasses with fucking with fucking cellophane, as everyone could hear.
Oh my fucking days, cunt! It comes in a packet. Shut up.
Come to Specsavers, where you get a free pack of Ruffles. It's Specsavers Toowoomba.
Fuck me dead. Why do I persist with you fucking imbeciles?
Fucking how good were Ruffles? Do they still make those?
I don't know.
Oh,
I doubt it.
You wouldn't need them. So. They've got fucking carbs in them.
Oh, well, that's what I'm saying. I don't know if they're around anymore. I did have some fucking light and tangies the other day.
Oh god, that's taking it back.
Oh, they're almost as good as chicken crimpies. Don't fucking at me.
Stop it.
Yeah. Look. I mean, like, we may have to part ways on that opinion there. You had me up till crimpies, and then we were there holding hands down the road with crimpies, and then light and tangy came in. And I'm like,
fuck. I said almost.
If only I had a fucking spare bus, or you cunts holding hands going down the road.
From what I saw in the newspaper the other day, another big consumer of light and tangies is Brett Finch.
Hang on, is light and tangy a name for kids or something?
I don't know.
Like,
I'm just saying. Stop being light. Light
have I missed this?
It's a choice of a new generation of pedophiles. I don't know.
Like,
that's all.
You know, is Eddie Groves got the new light and tangy daycares? Like, what have I missed here? How does this go together?
It doesn't. It's just an agenda against light and tangies. Just grabbing the low hanging fruit of the day, putting them together like fucking Lego, and coming out with this fucking magnificent fucking mech.
I'm thinking it's the opposite of fucking Tigers fans' kids. It'd be fat and salty.
Yeah.
Hey.
Well, you know, I'm not talking about your kids. Neither of them support the Tigers.
He said Tigers fans' kids. He didn't say anything about people's kids that support the Tigers. Very different.
Because the thing is, we know Tigers. We know a Tigers fan who has kids, and they don't support the Tigers, so they're all right.
That's it.
Those kids are going to be just fine.
I'm just going to shut this window because I think Polaire is hovering over my house.
Now, the thing about like before we got massively fucking sidetracked, I was saying that I know you got the rugby league players and they got to be role models for the little children and everything like that. And speaking to the referees is a terrible thing. You shouldn't abuse referees. But I love a guy that's just fucking had it to the point where he just escalates and escalates until he gets sent.
Yeah.
And like, there's some, as a connoisseur of chaos, that is a fine drop. And when it happened, he just kept escalating. Oh, that's fucking great. And and I mean, this is a guy who's played in, spent his entire career almost playing in successful sides. So this year, the last couple of years have been a massive palate cleanser.
Yeah,
and he's just
he's been paid for the privilege.
Yeah, did I really need the extra couple of $100,000? Like,
fucking incompetent you are.
I don't know what he's doing. Like, is he trying for a new contract at fucking Canberra or something? They'd be the only ones that'd get on that agenda with him enough to care.
Yeah, exactly. If you guys have got nothing else to lead with, we might as well just get straight into the games here from round 23.
Let's go.
Let's hook it.
And we kicked off on Thursday Night Football with the blockbuster clash with the Penrith Panthers 26 defeat the Rabbitohs 22. The Panthers tries coming through Crichton, Edwards, Lemieux and Martin. Crichton 3 conversions and 2 penalty goals. The Rabbits 22 points came through a double to Alex Johnson. Cody Walker, Campbell Graham also with tries. Latrell 2 goals, 2 conversions, and 1 penalty goal. Who's going first?
Go, Glennie.
I got one quick point. We said last week Penrith would be happy for the win and the 2 points, but we suspected South might have got a bit more had they won the game. I think what South have got out of it is the fact that Paulo, now come finals time, has proven himself to be somewhat fragile under pressure.
Yeah.
And he's going to be one hell of a fucking target for the better sides as South progress through the into the finals. And I suspect, given some of the things they've done in recent weeks since Mitchell's come back, that they're a chance of going deep in the finals. But that his confidence has got to be shot.
Yeah, and I mean it was more than enough to be the difference between the two teams in what was otherwise a fairly well thought out game. But I guess the only positive for Souths is that they've got 2 more regular season games in which he can try and break out of it unless they're just going to drop him.
Yeah.
I mean it's not like you have to turn around and go, oh yeah, it's a sudden death final next week.
Yeah, exactly.
And you got to go again because exactly. I mean that would be a tough one to turn around in a week. But he's got a couple of weeks to. Although they're pretty close to must-win games though for the Rabbits as well.
Yep.
They've got to win them. So, but less pressure.
Yeah, 100%.
Fair point.
And to that note, it's one of those games where if you look across it, it was, like Nate, as you said, almost exactly evenly fought out. The really interesting ones were just that Penrith really relied on that fitness, and I think that's still an advantage for them at this stage of the year, where even when most of the categories and most of the stats you look at were pretty equal, they ran for almost 300 metres more throughout the course of the game. And some of those did come from the back. Obviously, Dylan Edwards doing his job better than anybody else in the league. But the thing for Penrith to take away from this was after their game against Melbourne, where they did almost everything right except finish off in terms of they controlled field position, they controlled territory, they really kept the Storm pinned down in their own end for most of that second half, couldn't break through them. And obviously Souths aren't the defensive team that Melbourne is. But for them to go and repeat that and really be in that position for finals times where they're building as best they can, I think is the best thing. In Penrith's situation at the moment, the best thing you can hope for is for everybody else to just be fucking humming and then to slot back in your halves pairing and have a couple of your forwards come back ready and raring to go. As opposed to, well, fuck, the team's down on form, everything's a little bit more chaotic than usual. We need to put those halves back in and hope that we can get back to what we were, 6-7 weeks ago. So,
because you will be full strength come week 1 finals, right?
But look, barring niggles and injuries, yes. I think a big in for Penrith that's severely fucking underlooked, and it's not hard to do in a team with so much star power and so many people that are overachieving this year, is Moses Leota. Like you look at when he's not on the field, And just every run he takes, they are those maximum effort, breakthrough. He finds the ground on his own terms, and he's up playing the ball at fucking lightning pace. And off the back of that is where a lot of their attack came from that night. So I think he's a big in going into the finals. But the space they gave South out wide is troublesome.
It's crazy, and I mean, like Alex Johnson. I mean, like let's face it. I mean, the try scoring records keep tumbling, and he's a legitimate chance to take Ken at by the end of his career.
Yeah,
and he's a good finisher, but he's also on the end of a very potent side of a renowned attacking weapon of a side of a team.
That's it.
But fuck, he fucking bathed fucking To'o.
Yeah,
like I've never seen To'o so fucking served in a game.
Yeah.
I don't think ever. I think it's the most anyone's fucked him over in a game. It's crazy.
They were compacted on the edges.
Yeah.
Where South can also be a risk, and this is what you got to plan for both contingencies. They'll fucking chew you up on the edges, and especially now that you got Latrell running around. I also do think it's worthwhile pointing out, if you remember, that he had a mishap at training where he had a groin injury during the week, and he came off, right at the beginning of their training session, didn't do anything else prior to the game. And I'm not sure he was 100%. I'm really not sure Latrell was 100%.
Yeah.
So if he can just have a couple of weeks of light duties, I still think they're as big a threat as ever going into the finals. What the socials say on that one? Whoops. I'm too busy in my old screenshots sending Glennie fucking rebar pictures.
Please stop doing that.
The guy with the rebar from his balls to his fucking shoulder.
Jesus Christ.
It would be appreciated if you could not send me that shit.
I send us that shit, Glennie. It's a group chat.
He sent it to me, and you just happen to have access to that same group chat.
Yourselves that shit. I don't want to know about it.
God.
Thank you very much.
Anyway,
for your time.
Chris in the Facebook group said, "Take Jackson Paulo's shoelaces off him." What a shocker! Yes, Ricky come in with a new member comment. He said, Centrelink must pay next week, hence poor crowd attendance. Ouch, Ricky. Fucking ouch. Conan, he said, Mardo's so old school. When the doc told him he'd be out for the season with syndesmosis, he said he didn't know what that was. He rolled his ankle. There we go. And what a fucking way for him to finish. Like, absolutely fucking butchering 2 tries with dick fingers, the likes of which we've never seen.
Yes.
Fuck, I love that about Mardo, though. Like, he could butcher 1,000 and it wouldn't stop him getting in there.
No, he'll just still keep coming. Yeah,
Yeah, that's it. Thomas made fun of South and their social media crew by saying, haha, South's Instagram. Fucking disappointing. And then he's put a screenshot of South after the game. And it says, South's 22, Panthers 26. And the Rabbitohs have commented under the photo of their sad, dejected, fucking toothless fuck players. Full time. We've turned off comments because we're all in this together.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh no, actually, I actually don't mind that as a move because you know it was coming.
Oh yeah.
It was just like 100% Jackson Paulo fucking hatred.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, but I don't think. I don't think the Tigers fucking turned off comments on theirs though. So I give them credit for that. Although I don't think there was one focal point for the Tigers fans. We'll get to that.
Joe.
It was the team.
Joe said, pounded into the fucking earth by a team missing the best half and front rower, along with the hottest bloke in the comp in Scott Sorensen. Surely Edwards gets an Australian jersey in the World Cup when Penrith go on to win it all again this year. That is true. That is so true. There we are. Next game.
Yeah. Unlikely. The North Queensland Cowboys 48 defeat the Warriors 4 up at the Abattoir in Townsville in a thoroughly expected result. The Cowboys 48, that came through tries to Cohen Hess, Murray Talangi, Jeremiah Nanai, Hiku, Luciano Leilua, Chad Townsend, and a double to Tom Dearden. And I'll tell you what, another double to Tom Dearden is reduced to a single as he has a ruptured testicle following the game. And he may be off a couple of weeks, but, you know, the Cowboys are well and truly set in the top 4. And I don't think it's too much of a hassle for them. Val, 7 conversions and a penalty goal. The Warriors 4, a singular try to Marcello Montoya. And that was it.
Ruptured testicle. Still.
The Peter Wallace special.
Oh, the Peter Wallace.
Peter Wallace special.
Thought it was fairly clinical from the Cowboys against opposition that was clearly not close to their level, but they just handled the Warriors. The Warriors didn't really trouble them, and that they got their roll on through the middle, and then Did and Townsend, Drinkwater, that they just fucking cut them to shreds. Took advantage of their opportunities, didn't overplay their hand, I thought, which was pretty controlled from the Cowboys, especially as the scoreline started to blow out. I think they kept a handle on trying to focus on what was working for them rather than just trying to score off every play. For the Warriors, unhappy night. In particular, Reece Walsh had a game he'd probably rather forget. I think he's probably showing his raps on him, and he was highly sought after, and he's going to end up at the Broncos next year. He's still a long way, as you'd expect from such a young player that hasn't played a heap of first grade. He's a long way from the finished product that maybe the Broncos might be expecting him to slot into the side as. And if you look at between him, obviously he's going to slot into the fullback spot, I'm assuming, when he goes to the Broncos.
Yep.
I feel like, that's a big call, especially, leaving Cobbo on a wing, when, he's got his sights on the fullback jersey as well. So, one of those games for Reece Walsh probably won't be the last one he has in his young career, but, he's got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, at the moment, like, take a snapshot right now, and he's far closer to like a Kalen Ponga than whatever the opposite is.
I actually, as I was making my notes after this game, I almost made a note like that, and I thought, is that harsh on Reece Walsh at this early stage of his career? Ponga, when he came via the Cowboys, it was really only when he got to Newcastle on big money and a lot of hype that people started to pick holes in him,
You got to remember as well, his entry into it, and he went to a club that was firmly in the rebuilding stages. He went to Newcastle, and he was their fucking great white hope. We've pinched this kid, and remember he had a couple of games for the Cowboys
towards the end of that season before he left, where he carved up.
Where he really shouldn't have been playing, or if they'd have had their way, he wouldn't have been playing first grade, but they didn't have another fullback option to put in there through injury. Yep. And he had those games when you first come onto the scene and you're blinding fucking fast and no one's got any video to study on you. Now, after all of these games, people can say that, okay, well, you put the ball to him here, then he's going to go left here, 8 times out of 10 or whatever and run your defences around that. But he did that thing. He carved up a couple of times. He went to Newcastle and he was the next big thing. Walsh, I don't think is at that stage yet, because he's already had his fall. He already had his incident at the end of last year and on the Gold Coast and all that stuff. And he's a good player, and he's going to a team that's already got a few of the pieces there. They're just trying to put the final pieces in. I still think he's a downgrade from Tamari Martin.
Certainly the way that they've both been playing, if you just compare it directly in 2022.
And the value of their contracts.
But then also, is this one of those things, like with Adam Reynolds? Yeah, right now it looks like the Broncos have made a really, really smooth move. But is this the sort of thing you've got to judge in 3 years?
Yeah, and it's also like, Reece Walsh is looking however he looks, playing off the back of a Warriors side that hasn't looked interested in, months. Yeah. If not all season. Whereas the Broncos have had, a far more successful season. The wheels are falling off a little bit now, coming down the final straight. But, I mean, at the end of the day, it's still a far superior season to what the Warriors have had.
Correct. That's it. Anything else you want to say on that one?
No, hit Soch.
Nice. So good watching Walsh get run over by Jordan. He said Broncos paying massive overs for him. Hopefully takes them back to hashtag fuck the Broncos glory days of their first spoon. The Chad just adding to his immortality legacy. There you go. Andrew, in unrelated news, New Zealand Warriors have just been appointed official turnstile supplier to the NRL. Look for them at venues next year. Dom, he said the Vodafone New Zealand Noffalumas. Defensive reads of doom. Next season's preseason better be defence from start to end. Don't let these cuds touch a ball till round 1. Jared, he said, am I the only one massively disappointed the Broncos are taking Walsh over TMM? No, you are not, as I just said. I reckon that TMM's a much better option. Mitch said, I think the unsung hero of tonight was Drinkwater. He was everywhere, playing well off what's in front of him, aiding with the quick style of play the cows show. I agree.
That's all year, though.
That's it. Levi, who I think is back in fucking New Zealand for some reason.
Was he?
Yeah, which I can only assume that he's running away from criminal charges or he's lost a bet or something. So that's...
He's going back for...
Finally deported.
I think he's gone back for International Scaffold Day, the national holiday of his people.
Nice. He said, fraud Cowboys, so you should win at home. We've only lost one home game this year. Couldn't even get to 50. Useless. Let's go.
The Melbourne Storm, 60. Hashtag fuck the Broncos 12 at Suncorp Stadium, right in front of their own home people. The Storm, their 60, came through a litany of try scorers, such as Tonu Apea, Kama Kamika, Cameron Munster, Harry Grant, Jerome Hughes, Nelson Asafa-Solomona, a double to Justin Olam, and a double to the star of the side, David Nofaluma. And Nick Meaney, 9 conversions from 10 attempts and a penalty goal. The Broncos 12 came through tries to Capewell and Corey Oates with Reynolds 2 conversions. And this game, the ultimate indignity was a length of the field try from David Nofaluma at the end. The Tribus has found a perch in Melbourne, scoring junk time tries on the opposite side of the fucking
He's found a bin in Melbourne.
Yeah, and he's scoring and like junk time means different things in Melbourne Storm colours, because usually it means that the game is fucking well and truly over in your favour, not against. So he's loving life down there.
A week after we spoke about Harry Grant having been quiet in recent games, and certainly during the Melbourne Storm slump recently, he produced his best performance of the season. I thought he was...
Just like one of the best games of a hooker in recent history.
Yeah, had to be.
Oh, it really was.
Just outstanding. He was in everything, defended in the middle, all night, made his tackles, and was still full of running and controlled. Obviously aided and abetted by the Broncos defensively, but he cut them to shreds, and it was... his game was the beginning of the end for Brisbane, and then, his teammates did their jobs off the back of that. But I was really impressed with Harry Grant's performance. There's some warning signs for Brisbane. You mentioned earlier, Nate, that the wheels look like they're starting to fall off. And,
hang on, fucking warning signs? They got fucking 60 put on them. Like...
Yeah. Absolutely.
Look, I mean, it does.
That's a fucking wrong way go back sign.
It does bear mentioning that they didn't concede 60 points. They came close in the bad era, the last couple of years, but they did. They lost that game to the Roosters 59-0 back in June 2020. But they haven't conceded 60 points for a long time, and this is a good season.
Yeah, it's
so it was a dark day. It wasn't just a dark day from the standpoint of we're a couple of weeks out from finals and you're in the 8 and the old adage about teams that concede 50. It was bad on a historical level.
Yeah,
it was bad.
Yeah,
not to mention they scored 12 points. One of the tries they scored was obviously off a good finish from Oates and a great kick from Reynolds, but apart from that, the other one was a complete brain snap from Xavier Coates.
Well, just handed it straight to him. It was like it was like the old Two Dads one back in the day when it was probably more embarrassing than that one actually, because it wasn't like a long pass that didn't find its mark. I mean, he just sort of offloaded it straight to fucking the Broncos player coming through.
Capewell called for it, but just. Other than that, they looked completely inept and didn't look like scoring. So the Storm, though, I don't know whether we read too much into this. It's obviously, they're on an upward tick over the last couple of weeks from where they were. This certainly blew the cobwebs out of their attack. So
Yeah.
they're, we said last week they're, tapering quite nicely, which
Well,
shouldn't
I mean, look,
surprise
honestly,
anyone.
the Broncos are a top 8 team that are trying to, they were vying for top 4 not that long
Sure.
ago. I mean, it's probably out of reach for them now, but I mean, this is a team that's had a great season. And so look, you can't really dismiss and particularly it was a great sort of 60-minute performance too from the Storm, because I mean it was fairly frantic and even in the early stages of the game too.
Yeah.
Especially after they gave them that fucking ridiculous try.
Yeah. Just blew them away in the end.
I would also like to give a great fucking shout out to super fan of the show and longtime Broncos fan, Mr. Wars, who the Broncos' decline has started since he entered the country.
Yeah, and I mean, and as we all know, correlation equals causation. So I'm sorry, I'm sorry, Sam. This is on your fault. This is all your fault.
So maybe saying it's
please
all
stay
your
in Australia. Please stay in Australia for another probably 5 weeks just to make sure that they're fucking one and done in the finals.
dead.
Well and truly.
Well, this is that thing. You're saying to him, yes, this is all your fault. That's very negative. I would like to say, Sam, we congratulate you. And we welcome you
for restoring normality to transmissions.
And I would also like to point out that even though we asked for nothing, the rugby league gods fucking keep providing to us in ensuring that you get to actually live through a tiny little section of fucking Broncos spoon quality play. Having thought you'd missed it, being stuck in the land of the pangolin for the past 3 years.
He was locked in his apartment in Shanghai for 2 years. I mean, you couldn't see that shit. But I mean, now this is what it was like. It was great. It was a golden time to be alive. Hashtag fuck the Broncos. Give me socials.
That's it. Sorry, I was too busy doing my ladder predictor. John.
Fucking don't do the ladder predictor until the end, you bitch.
Oh, mate.
Minimise that shit. Just stop spoiling yourself.
Mate, I'm fucking on it. I'm jonesing. I'm fiending for a ladder prediction.
I mean, when I was talking to Glennie when we were doing the membisode on the weekend, and it's like all of the games, or not all the games, but there was a lot of games that had like ramifications.
Yeah,
you didn't see coming.
Exactly.
So I mean, it's made the ladder predictor exciting for this week as well.
Fuck yeah. John said Nofaluma has scored a junk time try in 2 60-plus Storm games on both sides. Stephen, he said,
a record never to be beaten.
As a Broncos fan, my asshole just got 2 inches wider. Hashtag salty lube. Cathal said the human victory cigar, David Nofaluma. Lachlan said that got out of control so fast. This will probably really hurt the boys, thus galvanising them for their revenge in the finals. Nothing to worry about here. I fucking love it.
I mean, unless they've wholesale changed the way that the top 8 final system works, the Broncos will not get to play the Storm at any point.
Yeah, well, that's what I was ladder predicting.
Yeah, right.
Because like as you were saying, the Broncos are a legitimate top 8 threat.
Yeah, and the beautiful thing about this game was it wasn't just the 2 points that they didn't get to add to the table. They took a gigantic hit to their differential as well.
That's it. Chris said, couldn't have happened to a nicer team. Reese, he said, look, it was a massive improvement over last week in the jersey department for Brisbane. Hashtag small wins. Kevin, when Broncos were in that patch of good form mid-season, we were winning games off the back of our defence. I don't know if it's fatigue or something else, but that defensive cohesiveness is gone, out-muscled and outplayed in every regard. I've seen so many of our fans lose their shit tonight, but for me, this season as a whole is a massive improvement over the last half a decade. Nobody wants 60 points put on them, but fuck me, am I embarrassed by our fan base. No wonder we have a reputation for being dickheads. No wonder at all. There we go.
So round 23 is rationalisation round for the Brisbane Broncos.
That's it.
it's finally become
acceptance.
The Parramatta Eels 42 defeated the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs 6 at CommBank Stadium in Parramatta. The Eels, they had tries to Penasini, Sivo, Madison, Opchek, a double to Dylan Brown and a double to Wonga Blake with 5 conversions to the returning Mitchell Moses. The Doggies, a try to Shoop and a penalty goal to Birdo.
Oh, Shoop-a-doop.
Look, Moses' return was a huge difference for Para. He and Dylan Brown just ran riot against pretty passive Bulldogs defensive line, which made them probably look a bit better than what they were. But had players running great lines and they were throwing some beautiful passes and just cut the Bulldogs to shreds. Plenty of hard work done in the middle by their forwards and quick play of the balls for Marnie and Moses and Brown to work off the back of. And all in all, the opposition was clearly poor, so I don't know that Para really proved a great deal, but what they did was take advantage of their opportunities and just, like I said, some of the ball play was impressive, and that'll be important. That timing for that to be back so quickly now that Moses is returned is a positive sign.
And he's back to doing a lot of those little things that he does, very well. Like he is still one of the best architects of a short side raid, and judging when it's on and when it's not, and judging whether he can pull defenders in and then put a kick over the other side of the field where they're going to be short, or as he did a couple of times that night, just absolutely decimate the Dogs down that side. A little bit concerning in the error stakes for Parramatta. And they put fucking 42 points on. Let's take nothing away from that. So it wasn't as if it was a shabby performance, but there were still patches in that game. Like, they only completed at just over 70%. And again, once you're out to that much of a lead, then you're going to start throwing it around a little bit more anyway, and shit goes a little bit wrong. But for them to have 14 errors in a game, you do that against another top 8 side, and that's how you end up getting fucking punished, especially when they're not the sort of team like the Dogs that will just make an error straight back and hand the ball to you and not make you pay for them. But all in all, another good run by a team that's had most of its players get back on the field and do what they need to do.
Yeah, and I guess it's time for them to start that sort of taper towards the finals that they tend to do after their sort of post-origin slump.
Yes.
And, it's only the Doggies. The thing that was weird about this game is that this week and last week as well, I mean, how quickly the Dogs have just sort of wiped off all of that improvement in their game, and they've just seemed to have reverted to exactly back to the Barrett Dogs. I mean, they're letting in tons of points late.
Yep.
They're not, their attack has gone haywire. Even the Birdo Fox connection's not working. Birdo's just off with. I mean, he's still got his fucking orbit bombs, but
phone's down, Glennie.
Get your phone out of there, Glennie. I can fucking hear it.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Gotcha.
Tell you what. Sorry, listeners. That's that crackling sound you're hearing. That's fucking Glennie.
It's the pedals on the fucking 5G tower that he's got to keep pedaling up there to keep the show going.
Motherfucker's trying to multitask over here. Jesus.
Yeah, how about you multi-fucking focus on the fucking task at hand, which is recording this podcast.
Yeah, how about you shut the fuck up.
Get off Tinder. Fuck's sake. Tell your missus.
It's called Woomba.
Pick me up some nice cows.
It's like when they're 46-year-old single woman looking for an extra bag of feed for her donkeys. One
word in that was a dirty one. Pick which one it is.
Tell you, look, I don't know what's going on with the Doggies. I mean, it's like it coincides with. I mean, look, at the end of the year, at this stage, they're not doing anything this season, and as I can see, a lot of teams this weekend, especially, just like we're into that. Let's get to Mad Monday mode.
Yep,
it could be that. It also does coincide exactly with the announcement of Cam Serraldo as the coach for next year. Without trying to read too much into it, I mean, were they in love with Potter and what he's done with them, and maybe disappointed that he wasn't given a chance, or
who knows?
I don't know, but they've very quickly reverted to what they were around the time of Trent sacking. Versus what we've seen them out of them, the last good couple of months, even like a fairly reasonable length of time.
I think a lot of it comes down to intensity. Like right after Trent was punted, everyone in that side lifted a little bit. Everyone in that side just did their job a little bit better. And when you got a guy like Birdo, who, and we've said this 1,000 times, his boot gives you an attacking advantage that I don't think anyone else in the competition has. But it doesn't do it all by itself. And it seems now the rest of the teams come down to earth a little bit. And they're all just going,
yeah, but they kind of held it up there. They held it up there for a good, 2 months.
Yep, they certainly
did. A decent
did.
amount of time.
They certainly did. But when that's not your natural position, when that level isn't your natural level, it's hard to fucking maintain quickly. But at least now they know they can do it.
Yeah.
So what do the socials have to say on that one? Terry, he said the Dogs' first 60 minutes was awful, but their last 20 was good. A nice change, I guess. Ben, fuck me. Not only did my boys give the Eels fuel for the hype bus, the Doggies just added nitrous. Oh well, all the more glorious when they get bounced out in week 1. And Papa Shunter, Paul, he said the Moses and Brown combination was awesome. Trent Barrett's influence is already paying off.
Oh, Jesus.
And James, he said, I can see why Bellamy thought swapping Noffa for Addo-Carr last season would have been a 0 net loss. Oh, what a dig. There we are.
Look, it just goes to show, like, we've seen Noffa in a system now. And I tell you, that's the most concerning thing, Glennie. I mean, we're going to get to the Tigers game, but Noffa said what he said, and we talked about it. We talked about it last week. But then you see now, like Gildart as well. There's quotes coming out of him where it was like, he finally feels like he's lobbed at an NRL club. Like fucking brutality. And I think he's pretty much he wants to stay at East, and who blame him, but just the shit, every single one of them that goes out on a loner, they're just like, oh wow, this is what a well-run organisation looks like. Okay,
like what is it? The West Tigers, is Pascoe a fucking Amish?
Yes.
Like, is he sending all these players?
That wasn't lag. That was.
Is he sending all these players out on a fucking Dumspringer, hoping that the wide world of fucking alcohol and titties will scare them, and they'll come scampering back home, where there's no electricity or fucking running water?
Yeah.
If someone doesn't Photoshop the fucking traditional army's hat and hair, etc., and attire onto Justin Pascoe, he's fucking not having a go.
It would also look really good, I think, on
it'd be
like
called
James
a
Tamau.
Dumspringer.
Glennie, I'm going to make that the title of the episode. What do you say about that?
I like it.
I'll have to look up for the to get the right accent marks and everything like that. I'm sure there's a couple of dots over one of the left.
I'm sure there is.
You still got more socials?
No, we're on. Next game. Let's go.
Right. The Sharks 40 defeat the mighty Manly Seagulls 6 at Brookie. The Sharks tries through Royce Hunt, Matt Moylan, Britton Nakora, a double to Matt Ikuvalu, and a double to Nico Hines, with Hines getting 6 conversions. Manly tried to Daly, conversion to Daly. Which he should have given that one to Foran, I thought. Really? I mean, like, at the end of the day, who fucking cares?
Why?
Game's over. It's his last fucking game at home.
He's the fucking Noffa of the Northern Beaches.
Give him the fucking conversion for his last home game.
You said some fucking inflammatory shit on this show, but that's
the junk time king.
Yeah, just ridiculous.
Junkie Cherry Evans.
And it was actually, and I mean, and obviously that try was fucking programmed in because, winning by the sacred scoreline is not for everybody, and it's not for you, Cronulla, either, because you had your chance and you couldn't fucking pull it off. And this,
the hilarity of Manly losing 40-0 should be lost to fucking.
Yeah. I mean, it would be hilarious if they did, Glennie.
No, I know.
But it just. I'm fucking so glad it didn't.
I was going to say, there had to be a party who was like, fuck no, this can't be.
Mate, I'll tell you, I'll tell you, that try may as well have been the fucking match winner. But this, once I tell you what, like whether this pride jersey thing is actually properly derailed things, what it has done is it certainly put the spotlight on a selection of players within the side, and for me at least, and really applies extra scrutiny to their performances, and they're just not fucking good enough in many cases. Like Kohler had his chance to be the fullback, probably let in 3 tries through just fucking poor positional play and mistakes. Over, we had TWiL continuing his recent run of bad form, which coincides exactly with the week after the fucking Pride jersey thing. Aloye hasn't been fucking nearly as impactful or damaging or holding shit together. I mean, look, Jakey wasn't there. He's out for the rest of the season, so obviously there was going to be a fucking, there was going to be, something that came out of that in the middle, in defensively especially. But, no one was there to pick up the slack. And I mean, even like, tries like the Royce Hunt try. I mean, that's a try that Jakey stops every fucking day. But, he's not there. So, like the Sharks did, they did what they had to do, and they performed pretty well. But I mean, they were just given a lot of field position, a lot of territory, and they took the opportunities they had. Like they took pretty much every opportunity they had. There was nothing really long range out of them or anything like that. It's just they'd get penalty, they'd kick down there, get a repeat set, get down there, and then they'd just score when they had that good ball, like 20, 30 meters out. And when there was a set down there that they were going to finish their last tackle sort of 20 meters out. I mean, more often than not, it felt like that they took the opportunity and scored, whereas Manly had quite a number of opportunities in a reasonable position, but then you've got, your Marty to Powers throwing fucking offloads to nobody or the opposition and just dumb shit like that just obliterated like 3 to 4 good scoring chances that they had, and which would have made it, a different complexion of contest. But, oh my God, did you see speaking of socials, did you see Marty Tapau's fucking missus mouthing off on Insta?
What's she done?
She's put a video up in her stories of like a selection of highlights from the game where Marty's running a decoy line and the pass is not going to him. And she's like, they lost because they didn't pass the ball to him enough.
Oh my fucking God.
Oh, look, cunt! If you
fucking
and that
embarrassment that you must feel.
And that doesn't come from her. Obviously, that's him in the car on the way home, fucking having a bitch. Mate, the offer's there. I've got a fucking ute. I'll fucking drive to your house and help you pack if you want to fuck off 2 weeks early. Dead set, cunt. Like, fucking shut up and shut your fucking missus up as well. You're not fucking Joey Tarpon. You can't back up her fucking mouth at all. You've been useless for like literally 18 months. Watch the fucking game tape, mate, and have some and stop being so oblivious to your fucking shortcomings as a fucking footballer. Dead set. And don't get your wife to do your fucking wet work either on fucking socials. Can't say it yourself, you little bitch. I have heard though that the players have been fucking giving it to him ever since that went up, and like not giving it to him like, oh, your missus, giving it to him is like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So look, yeah, I would be super happy to see him never fucking represent again in the club's colours. Fuck off to wherever you're going, pal. And I hope it's a fucking place, and I hope it's like the West Tigers or something like that.
Why are you going to be like that?
Because that's his fucking level. He can go a big homecoming to you. How about that? You can be your problem, Glennie.
Jesus.
I've got enough fucking problems.
Do you?
Fucking cunt. Do you?
In my football team, I do.
Oh, we'll get to it.
Yeah.
You really?
Yeah, very shortly, I would imagine.
Well, I have to get through the socials for this monstrosity first.
Go for it.
Aaron.
Unless Glennie's got something to say first, though. Floor's yours, Glennie.
The only real comment I wanted to make was Nico Hines. Just low key going about his work, and I thought he was really impressive and found himself in the right position more often than not, and took advantage and his kicking game was exceptional, and just thought he was outstanding.
Yeah, has taken the opportunities he's been given full tilt this year as well, and has absolutely shone in a Sharks jersey. He came with some big raps on him, filling in for Pappy at fullback in the Melbourne system. And there were questions about, well, hang on, can he handle going straight into the halves? And really, what's he going to do in terms of leading this team around? But you can tell that he is a student. Not to say he's a student of the game, but he's a student of the greats of the game. And there's been multiple instances I've heard people talk about him, and it's always with different players, where they say a similar sort of thing about him. That, when he had the opportunity to be here with this person, he just sat there and absorbed as much knowledge as he could out of them. And he's had an absolute cracker of a season. Another cracker of a season is Aaron, our most valuable fucking contributor every year. He said it's a
He
dangerous...
hang on a minute. He wasn't last year.
I didn't
Tigers
say...
Tigers fan gets the decline.
I didn't say that he's given the award. I think he's the best every year. I just think...
I find... I tell you what, though, it is funny that, like, Tigers fans, generally speaking, are the best contributors of the year.
Well, exactly.
Because last year... Like, what's
that fucking Bane monologue from that shit Batman movie? That one. About Tigers fans and fucking commentary of depressing nature. So, Aaron, he said it's a dangerous day to be a gay Middle Eastern man. Jason, he said you can't do controversial try celebrations if you don't score tries. That is very fucking true. Jason said another blowout for the weekend. It's up to the Tigers in the next game to stop the rot.
Things precede unfortunate events.
Thomas said Cherry Evans getting in on that Noffa junk time try. Shame he couldn't do anything else for his team. Lucky he isn't the highest paid player in the league or anything. There you go. Nice one. Go for it. Oh, hang on. Simon, I like this one. He said forwards win matches. Backs decide by how much. Fafita being better than any Manly forward really shows the depth of trouble Manly is in. That is
That's
true.
it.
There you go.
And I'd just like to say that, like, anyone who tags me in anything on Facebook, I'm currently banned. So don't think I've not replied out of any avoidance or anything like that. I'll reply next Saturday.
Did you tell Shunty you were going to fuck him in his good ankle?
No, I told there was that picture there that Ned put up of him and Solzy at the fucking whatever they were doing, and I just tagged Mike, Solzy, and just said choke him. And like, I didn't mean hate crimes or inciting violence. I meant sexually. But Facebook's algorithms can't determine nuance like that.
They've just assumed Ned was a minority.
Yeah.
Of some description.
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
They couldn't even let me appeal and say, come on, it's just banter, you fucking stupid Zuck.
Does Zuck know what banter is?
No. Probably not. He only knows what inputs have been fed into him.
Or does he think that's how a deaf person says the big furry elephants from Star Wars?
The Roosters 72 to feed the West Tigers 6 at the SCG. The Roosters 72 came through.
Stop it.
Teddy, Connor Watson, Drew Hutchison, Matthew Lodge, a double to Daniel Tupou, a double to Angus Crichton, and 4 tries to Nat Butcher. It was fucking old boys' day there with Lodgy and Teddy getting in on the action too.
Yeah, good.
There we got Sam Walker. He had his fucking kicking boots on, 12 from 12. The Tigers 6, a try to Brent Naden, and a conversion to Adam Dewey.
Let's go to the socials.
Patrons will already know how this game went. The second half, I mean, this is the first time where it was kind of over at half time. Was it 30-0 at half time?
Kind of over. 30-0.
Was it 24 or 30?
No,
yeah.
It was 30.
Yeah. So, like, I mean, I thought that we might get, Tigers win the second half or something like that. But no, the Roosters fucking put their foot down, and they had me with 20 minutes to go looking up the record books to see what the worst or the most amount of points conceded by the Tigers.
It should have been 80 plus, really, if they were fucking serious.
Yeah, and it was 66 at the time, and then and the biggest loss was 64-0. So it led to a barnstorming finish where not only were the greatest amounts of points, they tied up the points and it was 66-6. So then they just needed one more try to get the biggest margin as well, and they got it there at the death. When the Tigers were down to 12 men after the aforementioned James Tamau fucking blow up. And look,
meltdown.
I'll go on the record say that, like, obviously that first penalty that he conceded down the other end was, for dissent, fair enough. But the blow up that got him sent off, he had a penalty called on him before the tackle was.
Yeah. He
was called off before the tackle was completed. And I think he had every right to be pissed off about that penalty. Yeah. But then he gets 10 for that one for mouthing off when he gets that one, and then he comes back with the incompetent thing and gets the bit and then gets the ultimate fucking send off.
That's a fucking great sledge though. You are incompetent. It's not saying you're a cheater. It's not saying anything like that. It is just saying you are fucking shit at your job
and your chosen profession. Yeah, exactly.
That's good, boys. You keep talking about the game. Keep going.
Glennie.
So okay, for other I'll just scattered observations from me on this game. Dewey was fucking abysmal.
Worst game I've seen him play.
His defense was awful.
And have you seen that he copped it from some fans at the game, and the teams rallied around him?
Yep. They didn't turn the comments off. They let people have their have their crack.
Yeah.
Did they rally around him as he rallied around the club, saying to Noddy, "Play me where I want to play, or I'll play in Reggie's"? That sort of rallying.
Maybe he should be playing in Reggie's based on that performance.
Yeah, fucking hell.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't even like he was exploited in defence.
Yeah.
It was just he missed the tackles that he was supposed to make.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like he was bullied by, and they were just fucking sending freight trains down him all day at all.
Yeah.
It was just basic.
Honestly, that was a want thing. That was a fucking heart issue.
Yeah, it really was.
Well,
and look,
Crichton beat him twice for tries.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know if it was Butcher or... Anyway, he got beaten fucking all ends up, complete one-on-one miss that he should make at that level. You should make 100 times out of 100.
And look, I mean, it's hard to say what the most disappointing thing is when you lose a game by 70. But for me, like, what the thing about... Yeah, okay, calm down. I rounded it up, mate. All right? Now, the...
Fucking round you up.
The thing... Oh, yeah, you fucking would, wouldn't you? You country bumpkins love your fucking glyphosate. Now... The thing that was the most disappointing was the way that it wasn't the volume of tries scored, but it was the way that many of them were scored, especially like the ones with Butcher and Crichton and stuff.
Yeah.
It was just simple. They were just running like outside in lines and they weren't getting touched. They weren't carrying guys over. There weren't people getting in front of them to even try and fucking stop them. They were just running through and strolling through and putting the ball down. I mean, just it was fucking hilarious, to be perfectly honest. But
so the concerns for me is, this is the type of game, and we've had plenty of them over the last however many years. Maybe not to this magnitude of scoreline, but certainly by way of lack of effort and application. And it's certainly the type of game where historically we'd come out a week later or a couple of weeks later and sack the coach. But we've already done that this year.
Yeah.
And this is the roster that, with the exception of Appy and Isaiah Papali'i coming into the side, and Nate, you said during the members side, what the fuck must they be thinking? And I agree with you. But,
they've only just got Papali'i back on the side,
and we fucking give up 72 points. So they come in. We're losing obviously Talangi and Garner. They come in, so essentially, it's pretty much the same roster. And
you get Jacko back, which is going to take about 1,000 touches off everyone else in the team,
which is probably not a bad thing because the guys that were touching the ball in this game are fucking incompetent.
Yeah,
the referee wasn't the only one. Like, this is the thing that gets me about Tamau. Why wasn't he turning around and pointing the finger at his fucking teammates, saying you're incompetent, so are you're incompetent, not just the referee.
I kind of get it though. Like, you imagine, like, you're at that point where this has got to be about the lowest he's felt in his career. You know, like he's played with the greats of the last generation, like he played with Thurston. He's played with the greats of this generation in Cleary and Edwards and Yo. And then all of a sudden he's lobbed up at the West Tigers.
Edwards is a fucking stretch. I'll give you Cleary and Yo, but fucking for you to throw, that's just you being you. Edwards in the mix. The fuck out of here.
Celebrating a premiership winning fullback. Fucking oath, that's me.
Oh,
but
fucking Jesus. Fucking Christ. Shane Perry was a premiership winning halfback, wasn't he?
Luke Brooks was
pretty sure Johnny Plath got a trophy at some point.
Fucking
but for stuff like that, to have a penalty called before the tackle is completed, like when you're down by 70 points, that would be, for me, like the straw that breaks the camel's back. Like, I can't even rely on the officiating here. Everyone on this field has let me down. I probably feel as if I've let them down, but then all of a sudden, the only person that's supposed to be impartial, they start fucking us as well.
You know, we speak about the multi-million-dollar fucking centre of excellence. We speak that, they bang on about the amount of sponsors we have and the amount of memberships, and every year there's an increase in memberships, and it's fucking fantastic. And the merchandise sales are up every year, and it's fucking what a great business the West Tigers are. What a great business. Well,
that's all the show bags are selling to Harry, right?
You're in the business of playing rugby league at the highest level. That's the business you should be fucking good at. Not fucking around, banging on about sponsors and membership. Yes, that's important, but if we put 17 blokes in the jersey that showed pride in it week in and week out, all of that stuff that they bang on about happens anyway.
Yeah, that's it.
The poor cunts that are forking out their corporate dollars, these guys that are running businesses, and no doubt there's some big business in there, but there's some fucking small ones too supporting, pumping their small business dollars into sponsoring players, and such and such a player brought to you by this business. Imagine fucking forking that out and having some cunt ring you up every few months and going, "Oh, were you fucking renewing your sponsorship of Adam Dewey?" Well, no, cunt. What are you giving me for free? I've given you thousands of dollars to put my logo next to him when they fucking read out the team list, and he puts that forward. The fuck out of here.
Yep.
I know it's that time of year where, teams are putting the fucking queue in the rack and thinking about Bali and all the rest of it, but just show a bit of fucking pride in what you do for a living. It fucking defies belief to watch that absolute tripe. 72 points conceded in a game that you're supposedly playing at the highest level that you can play in a club capacity. It's fucking disgraceful. For the Roosters, I don't know that you can draw too much from their performance, other than the fact it was fantastic for their for and against, which probably gets them into the 8. It solidifies their position in the 8, and
yeah,
they may go deep.
It puts them 3 places up the ladder. Like, it puts 2 teams in more jeopardy than them.
Yeah, well, and look, they may go deep in the postseason based on experience alone. Yeah. But
the thing is, though, it's not like prior to this round. If you'd have looked at that and gone, hang on, how many like massive blowout opportunities are there here? That wouldn't have been in the first 2 games you pick. Maybe Melbourne would have blown out, and you probably.
Oh, like, you said 2 games. Of course, yeah, it would have been.
I would have picked Cronulla to blow out Manly, just based on where they were and how they are as a club at the moment.
I would have said that maybe the Eels could get the Dogs. I wouldn't have picked the Storm to blow the Broncos out by that much either.
Oh,
that to me,
I guess
probably
when
like
we
a
say
34-12 game.
When we say blowout, 30 points, 30-point win.
Yeah, see, I don't know. I don't think I would have had to Storm 30 points over the Broncos before that round.
I would have.
The fact that they did it by 48.
Hindsight's fucking
amazing.
Yeah,
I think this was one of your blowouts though. Maybe the Warriors game against the Cowboys was the other one.
That's it. Yeah, so already there's 3 or 4 that you probably would have had before this one, because the Roosters weren't. They were building, but they weren't. One of the we had them missing the finals in our ladder predictors. This is fucking NRL chaos.
But it wasn't based on a loss to the West fucking Tigers, that's for sure.
Thomas, he said, are we getting a members-ode for this? Not that the members necessarily enjoy torturing Glennie with those, but it's the only way some of us can finish by this point.
I hope it was a good one.
Ricky,
I hope you squirted.
Ricky, he said, I have no clue why Seraldo didn't want this job. David, club legend Benji Marshall didn't win a premiership with the Dragons to see his club embarrassed like this. Steve said, please hide all the toasters in the MI. Matthew.
I think it was very, very philosophical, weren't you?
I always am, Nathan.
He said, don't worry, Tigers fans. Next season, a geriatric is coming to save you. A geriatric who was sacked by Salford. Salford, who then under a new coach went to a grand final and then a Challenge Cup final.
I fucking put it to you that geriatric was also sacked by this very club.
Oh, God.
after such masterstrokes as Corey Patterson on the wing.
You always fucking, that's your go-to.
That is legitimately my favourite bad fucking team selection of all time.
Yeah.
All time.
That's it. There we are. Let's round this one out. I need to predict.
Yeah, all right. Okay, so we've got the Dragons, 46, defeating the Titans, 26. In a fucking wild one down in Wollongong.
Dragons are shit, Titans are shit.
Dragons 46, tries to Phoenix Sullivan, a double to Jack Bird, a double to Talatau Moan, and a hat-trick to Tautau Monga. Lomax 5 conversions, which actually kept the Titans in the game for quite some time. The Titans 26 tries to Brimson, Fafita, Firma, and Jojo Fafita. Boyd 4 conversions and a penalty goal.
You have to wonder what sort of side the Dragons would be if Sullivan, Sloan, and Moan, etc., were given a solid run in first grade together to build some combinations and show what they're truly capable of over the course of the season. Hook's played some games with the side and the makeup of it over the course of the year, and I think it's cost the Dragons and may continue to cost them next year because those combinations are going to take time to build. If indeed they get their opportunities next season. Hat trick for Tautau Moga.
Well, five tries for Talatau Moga.
Jesus fucking Christ! Couple of which he only fell over the line for, but it was one where he showed great strength to score. It's great to see. Him getting some game time in first grade. He's had a horrible one with injuries so far in his career, and he's always been a talent, but and he's shown glimpses in between fucking long-term injuries. So hopefully he can put that behind him and be a solid performer for the Dragons. And lastly for me, I think for the Titans, Bo Firma's got to be one of the shining lights in a pretty dismal year. Tough as nails. Out of Dolby, looking to me, I think he's every bit a first grader and someone that the Titans can continue to build around. And it's the type of heart and go again attitude that you'd love to see David Fafita bring to the table week in, week out. But I think the Titans have got a good one there.
It is interesting. Fafita obviously scored that barnstorming solo try where he absolutely blasted past Aaron Woods. But how do you get him to keep doing that, but still doing all that other shit? Like, how do you find the ticker that Tomalolo had when he was running 300 fucking meters a game for an entire season, and never even thinking about the try line?
Yeah,
but. Can we please talk for a second about what the fuck you do with the Titans that cannot win a fucking game with a man advantage?
I mean, this is the thing. When they went up the man, I mean, let's talk about firstly why they went up the man advantage. Murderous Frank trying to fucking go again with the James Ackerman special.
Jesus,
got sent off. Now, at that point, I think it was 30-20, and the Titans scored immediately after, immediately after that. So it was 30-26, about a minute after he'd been sent off, and they had an ample amount of time to break break through and get that 4 points they required.
The Dragons had enough time to score 16 points, so the Titans certainly had enough time.
That's it. I mean, immediately after that try following the send off, the Dragons did nothing but just keep scoring tries.
Yeah,
and Jack Bird, probably his best game in fucking
a long,
I don't know how
since
long.
Cronulla.
Yeah.
Yep.
I agree. But yeah, Titans, absolute dumpster fire. It's the margin wasn't as high as I want. I mean, the Tigers have done themselves no favour with that fucking 70 burger, but the Titans gave 20 points of differential back as well. I'm hoping we can see a bit more this week so we can get these two teams close enough. So it becomes a matter of the team. Yeah, so, look, I mean, none of them are going to win their way out of the spoon. I want to see teams that, whoever loses the least. As a spoon-avoiding team should. But, we shall see. Finally, before we can get to the fucking predictor, I know you got to do your social, sorry.
Oh, look, Terry said Patrick Herbert's new motto should be, "What doesn't kill you makes you stronger." Steve, does ref send murderous Frank because he knows he could take it up to a lethal level if needed? Devonhead, he said, we just witnessed two of the dumbest sides to ever football mistackle their way through 80 minutes. Thank fuck there's only 2 weeks to go. There you go. Cody, he said, thanks to Tarek for that win. He helped us practice playing with only 12 on the field all year. And that training worked a treat. Oh, there we go. Last game.
The Raiders 28 defeated Newcastle Knights 22 in Newcastle. The Raiders side scored tries through a double to Sebastian Chris. Rapiner, Young and Whiten also with tries. 3 conversions to Fogarty, a penalty goal. The Knights 22, a double to Edric Lee, a double to Dominic Young. Jaden Braley with their other try. Milford cost him the game 1 from 5 on the conversions.
Raiders went behind 22-8 and a bit of desperation started to creep into their game, and they composed themselves and worked their way back into the contest and put a big second half together and saved their season, really. Pretty entertaining game, I thought. Raiders, as I said, just clawed their way back, and Newcastle, who looked fairly slick in parts in the first half, just started to stumble as the Raiders came back at them, and just fucking couldn't hold on.
And
I
when
think
they
Milford was outstanding in the first half, and then fucking essentially went missing in the second. So.
Yeah, and I mean it was harsh to talk about the goal kicking too, because like the 4 he missed were like absolute sideline conversions.
Yeah, that's it.
And for a guy that's not an established or first choice goal kicker by any stretch of the imagination, but man, like you're right. The Knights were absolutely carving them, like just like clean line breaks on the edges and through the middle. Dominic Young was looking like an absolute superstar.
Yeah.
Yep.
Out on the wing. Big Dick Edric was doing his thing as well. But once the Raiders once they scored 2 tries back to back, like really early in that second half, and then the writing was on the wall. And once they got it back to even, it wasn't like this new contest. It was just a matter of waiting to see how Newcastle would fucking lose the game.
Yeah.
Hudson Young again, absolute king of the nothing going on. I'll put in a grubber and get it myself play.
Yeah. But again, how feasible is that in a final situation against a defence that's also playing for its season?
Well, in a final situation, it goes to their fucking big guns, at which point that kick goes directly into the fucking the surround behind the
advertising
dead ball. Behind
the
dead ball line. So, unfortunately, Hudson Young is probably going to be shelved. And
what's the rule there? If it hits the fucking advertising and comes back into the field of play without touching the ground.
Imagine by any stretch. Imagine if they did actually allow that as a thing. Can you imagine the trick shots that people would be doing? You could avoid the fullback every time. You're just kicking it over, and then your idea is to try and get the great bounce off the advertising into the field of play.
Fuck, I'll tell you what. Like you say that, you know how fucking
Volandis would do. Actually, well, no, I'm going to delete it out of the episode because Volandis will hear it and fucking do it because he loves putting crackpot shit into the game.
It'll be fucking and you'll get 7 points for it.
That do you know how fucking hard that would be? The trajectory.
And you get that 2 conversions.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Jason, he said, hang on, is he Papali'i or Papali now? Did he go back or was that Kotrick?
That was Kotrick. Kotrick went back, yeah.
Papali'i on a break, past the Tarpany, front rower to front rower. Knights should be embarrassed by that. Tell you what, no, they fucking shouldn't. The Raiders should be embarrassed by that. The fact that your season's on the line and it took a fucking prop-to-prop break for you to fucking have some hope of making the finals, there's your fucking embarrassment.
I want to say that's an indication of how far Tarpany's come this season. As we said last week, he's certainly turned things around after his missus went and publicly shamed Ricky for not giving him the game time. And, for him to show the initiative and to put himself in a position where he could support his fellow front rower going through this, sure, it should have been a fullback, but the fact that he put himself there and made that effort is an indication of how far he's come as a player.
Yeah, spot on. Isaac, he said the Knights are Knights are seeing harder than ever. Damien, Knew he was doomed the minute they put on the Tigers colours. Danny.
Yeah, well, it's refreshing they were playing the old high vis round and it wasn't against the Tigers this time.
Yeah, true. Danny said, better performance, but still disappointing. They had the lead at halftime and can't follow on. Fan killers here. Danny 2.0 said, Raiders have kept the only sliver of happiness that might be salvaged from this season. Win all left and Broncos lose all, and out they tumble. We then get to watch the Kevy train wreck try and explain. Come on, footy gods. Oof. And Ben said, Hudson Young is a fucking beast. Another grubber through the line to score. There we go. We're done.
All right. Yeah, all right. Here you go. Now's your chance. Time to bring out your new favourite segment of the year.
Fuck yes. I'll tell you, I've been getting a lot.
Best new segment since Glennie doing inventory.
You say that, but the amount of fucking love from the fans out there on the predictor, that they sit there and they put all their fucking combinations in and what if this happens and what if that happens. Oh.
Yeah, I don't think they're fans of you going through the predictor. They were already fans of the predictor.
No.
They don't.
We've introduced them to the predictor.
In a season where Penrith are all but a foregone conclusion to win the comp, everyone's like, oh, the predictor. Yeah, fucking great.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck out of here.
Righto. So currently we've got Panthers, the Cowboys, Sharks, Storm, round out the top 4, Eels, Roosters, Rabbits, and Broncos. Now, the Broncos are a win clear of the Raiders behind them on 26 points. Then you drop back to the Dragons and Manly on 22 and 20 points. So let's just say everyone else is fucked.
Yeah, but it's only the Raiders.
Only
That's
the
the only
Raiders.
team you can possibly look at, yep.
So this week we've got the Broncos and the Eels.
Eels.
I think Eels now, based on what we've seen recently, yeah.
Then the Panthers and the Warriors. Panthers. Storm and the Roosters in Amy Park.
I want to say Storm at home
Yep, Storm.
for that reason only.
Yep, so that moves the Storm into second at that point of the weekend.
Yeah, and that is a tough game. That is legitimately either side could win that game.
That's it.
I mean, it's hard to know because they both beat up on substandard opposition. Incredible.
Plus, I think this year, for the first time in a long time, Melbourne's floor and ceiling are very far apart. Raiders, Manly in Canberra.
Look, based on what the Raiders showed last week, I think it's possible for Manly to win. I mean, the Raiders have clearly they're the only team in the competition that has shit to play for.
Raiders
outside of the eight.
If you're going to judge the Raiders on what they showed this weekend, you should probably also judge Manly on what they showed this weekend.
Yeah, but the thing is, Manly were playing a top 4 side. The Raiders were playing the fucking Newcastle Knights.
Manly doesn't have Hudson Young.
Raiders. Fuck's sake.
Their team's getting blown up at the end of the year.
Let's
Sharks versus Dogs. Sharks?
Yeah, Sharks.
So that takes the Sharks back in the second. Rabbits and Cowboys.
Where?
In Sydney.
We could see a bounce back from South, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. Tigers and Dragons. Who cares?
Tigers.
I think it's going to be the Dragons. I hope it's the Tigers, but it's going to be the Dragons.
And also Titans.
Fuck me! I said I wanted the Tigers to win, cunt.
Titans and Knights. Titans going in heavy favourites.
Well, this is the game that we said decides the spoon.
That's it.
Puts the Titans 2 points ahead. I mean, the Knights on their first half, if they can replicate that,
so let's give that to the Knights.
Give it to the Knights by 70, just to make it interesting.
By 48. That's as high as it goes.
Yeah, let's give it to the Knights by 20 because that would be the absolute peak.
If you give it to them by 48, the Tigers are still last.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, it's closer. It's more achievable, isn't it?
By how much?
If it was by 48.
Yeah.
Like, it does get it, like, within striking distance of the Tigers.
No, the Tigers for and against is negative 291. The Titans are negative 264.
Yes, that's with the 48.
Yeah. So
so last round, it comes down to last round. Big Tigers get a close, golden point loss. Titans get smashed.
Hang on. Okay.
I don't want to be the only Kevin Garnett here, but I'm saying.
Remember, in this new reality, it's changed to many things are possible.
What I want is a live wooden spoon battle going into the last round.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
which we do get. So if the Tigers beat the Raiders,
Yeah, but no.
And-
when the Tigers need to beat the Raiders at the end of the season,
Yeah.
traditionally the Raiders win by 60.
and if the Warriors beat the Titans
Yeah. Where's that been played?
in New Zealand,
Oh, fuck, I guess that, yeah. See, no, but this is the thing. You need the Tigers to win a game, and they haven't got to win it. Like, they have to win this week against the Dragons. If they don't win this week, I think it's done.
no, we gave that to the Dragons.
No,
Yeah, no,
you
no, I'm
guys
saying,
did. I didn't.
I'm saying that's the Tigers' chance, though. If they don't get this one, if they don't get the Dragons, that's their chance to go 2 points up.
Yeah. But then we've got the Eels and the Storm.
No, I'm still playing East, aren't they?
No, this is
Oh, you doing next week?
following
Oh,
week.
okay. Yeah, okay. So yeah, Storm.
Storm,
For me.
Dogs and Manly.
Manly. Doesn't
Dogs.
matter. They're both in the middle of the pack.
That's
so.
it. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Then the Rabbits and Roosters. This is why we had the Roosters missing, because they're run home.
Yeah, and like I think we probably had the Rabbits winning last week when we did this.
Yeah, we did.
Now I'm kind of leaning towards the Roosters, to be honest. But even so, the Roosters have got two more. The Rabbits have got 2 less competition points than we thought they had at this stage too.
Yeah, they do.
Because we hadn't beaten Penrith last week.
Yeah, we did.
So
We did.
okay, so let's say what are the ramifications of that game either way?
Nothing really, just position. So
Is the Broncos dropping out the bottom?
no, Broncos don't move. Rabbits will be in 5th if they win, and be in 7th if they lose. So like you're talking about everyone else in the top 8, for and against of 100 plus, except Parramatta.
So what's the Raiders doing though?
Hang on, we got to get to them.
We
We got the Tigers
of the
winning
last
that game. So let's have the Raiders beat the Tigers.
Yeah,
The Raiders are in and the Broncos are out.
yeah, that's what I thought would
But
happen. Yeah, okay, good.
but the Broncos have the Dragons. It's at Jubilee.
See, the Broncos could fucking lose that game the way they're going lately. Ben Hunt could fuck them.
Let's say they win. The Sharks are back to second after beating the Knights. I'm not sure the Broncos drop out.
What criteria has to happen for them to drop out then?
They have to lose to the Dragons.
Who are they playing this week again? I forgot. Oh, so they got to lose this weekend, next
Yeah.
week.
They're going to
Broncos
lose,
are playing all their
to
games
this
Parramatta.
Right. Okay.
Lose to Parramatta and to the Dragons.
Oh, that's a big. That's actually for me. That's one of the critical last round games now.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, it's great to have some live battles going
Oh,
at the end of
it's
the season.
fucking amazing. But now the other thing is, if they win, right, them and the Broncos and the Raiders are on the same. They're both on 30 points. So are the Rabbits. So are the Roosters.
So it becomes a differential battle.
So
The Roosters
sixth-
are clear on that.
6th to 9th are on 30 points.
Thing is, the Roosters and the Rabbits have got huge differentials.
187 and 130.
Yeah, and the Broncos are only 21 and the Raiders aren't a negative 25. So
But the Raiders
The
are
Broncos
playing the Titans.
yeah,
So if the Broncos beat the Dragons by 12,
when is that game? When is the Canberra game that weekend?
last, they'll know exactly
Wow!
what they need
Imagine
to
if they had a number. Yeah, imagine they had a number and they could try and hunt it down. That would be amazing.
do. So they've got if Brisbane win by 12
Yep.
and the Raiders, 18's not enough. Yeah, the Raiders need to win by more than 30.
Imagine you come into the last round and they know
34 points.
they know that winning or losing isn't a concern
Yeah.
for them. They've got to win by a number, so they just come out fucking balls to the wall.
And put 100
saying-
on the fucking Tigers.
Just trying to say fuck it.
Yeah.
And put on as many points as they can. And because knowing if they win by a little bit or lose, it doesn't matter. It's the same diff.
Yep.
So they just got to go balls to the wall, just trying to
Fuck, what a
get a mad
season.
win.
What a fucking season.
And then that also has ramifications for the Spoon as well, because the Tigers can't have that happen to them
No.
because they need to keep it tight. Oh,
Tigers going to win both their games and finish 13th by my ladder predictor.
yeah, cool. Okay, Glennie, consider this a virtual pat on the head. You're a good ladder predictor, Glennie.
You're a piece of shit, Nathan.
Hey, look, I've been fucking wishing your cunt of a team to win games. Now, just not doing it. I'll tell you what, though, this Spoon thing, this Cowboys fucking this shit's giving them the spoon. The robbery over there.
You're right.
A couple of weeks ago. Needs to be an investigation, Glennie.
Oh, it's a fucking travesty.
And on that note, that's full time for episode 489. Thanks for listening, everyone. Let's go hit the footy tips and see how the standings are there. We've got a couple who got the lead group is pulling away as we come to the end of the season. Mitch Rich on top. He is 1 point ahead of Barrett's Belmore, who is 1 point ahead of M. Jonesy, who is 1 point ahead of a pack with Mitch Doyle 13, Fat Boy, Dan Glenwang, Alpha Ben RL, Andrew Kirkby 84. And how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Dan Eel and 250. So the top three in a good position, top two especially in a good position to push on and take this one.
Why would you name
Mitch Rich? He's been up there all year. So
why would you name yourself 250 when the fucking number 350 exists? Like, seriously, fucking Loch Ness monster.
Yeah,
Stop trying to hide out in our footy tips. Fucking Loch Ness monster.
Maybe they're not a fan of the cryptids. Fucking knocking on people's door demanding money. Who knows? Of course, if you'd like to support the show, I'll tell you what, we are getting some sadistic motherfuckers joining, presumably to hear Glennie die on air during Tigers games when they're getting fucking smashed. So welcome to the new patrons who came on board. I don't have my email open at the moment, so I can't get you by name. But welcome and thank you for subscribing. I hope you got what you needed out of that latest membisode. How do the games line up this weekend, fellas? What's going on for? Are we going to do any this weekend? I guess we'll talk about it on Wednesday, won't we?
Yes.
We'll figure it out. So that's it. If you guys haven't got anything else you want to close with, that is it for 489. And we'll talk to you on Wednesday.
Ladder.
See ya.
Get out there and predict your ladders.